nation to pop in. Don't want you to think that I was not thinking of you. I am thinking of you. We're trying to get this technical stuff under control. I don't know why the universe keep doing me like this, but we're gonna go on and see what's happening. Hello, I still can't hear you. Did you check your settings? Make sure because your camera working, but I don't have any audio. Call me. Call me. All right, y'all. This is gonna be different, but it's gonna get the job done. I'm just gonna let it do what it do. We're gonna try to get it done. We're gonna get the job done.
Power on. Ready for connection.
Hello?
Bluetooth connected.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, and I believe the people can hear you. So I'm just gonna
Okay.
I'm gonna pop the screen up there because we see something going on. Now, may I ask who am I talking to? San Juan or Sante?
San Juan.
Ah,
San Juan. Yeah.
Okay, San Juan. I appreciate you for showing up tonight, and I just wanted you to take us on a journey of how your life transitioned to where you are right now.
Oh man. Well, it really just all started. Growing up on the west side of town. We were just like regular kids. Growing up, and I knew that we were always different. We've always been into dance. A lot of people in our neighborhoods, they were never really into dance. They were always into sports and into sports too. But I was me and my brother, we were always more into dance than sports. We were just very creative, and being the fact that we were, we ended up, being taken away from our homes, at kids, and then, being in foster care, and that's what really allowed us to have an imagination. We've always had imaginations bigger our circumstances.
Okay, now let me ask you this because now I'm dabbling for real. So you had to deal with abandonment issues.
Yeah.
How many times did you have to deal with abandonment issues?
Oh man, well, by the grace of God, we're just super thankful that we had a family that that actually took us in. She's our adoptive mother, Eda Clark. We're still in contact with her. She's still our mother. And they took us in. We were about 7 years old, and we met everybody. We were very quiet when we were kids. We didn't really talk a lot unless we were really, like we got comfortable with you. But the first time we were able to, my parents was able to, see our talent was when the first time we ended up going to New Jersey. Mm-hmm. We didn't talk at all, and our cousin, he just put on Michael Jackson, and then it was over. We just started dancing, and that's how she knew, like, all right, we got to put these kids into something. And I'm very grateful that she had done a lot. Mm-hmm. For at that time we were doing dance classes, doing like little recitals and stuff like that in our local communities. At one point, it got to a point where she probably couldn't do as much as she would like to, because we started getting a little older, feet started getting bigger, so she kind of had to crack down on her finances. So after that, we ended up going back home at 18 with our biological mother. Okay. And so that was really different. We knew that it was going to be a different life. Growing up over on the west side of town was a little bit tougher. In the fact that it was like my last year of high school, we really needed to stay focused. So It's a lot of distractions and a lot of distractions that were going on in the neighborhood. So our main focus was just graduating. So graduating high school, getting a job, and but we knew that dance was always the side of us to do, and so we just pursued it. At first, we were like just young kids on the just dancing in the street. We were like street dancers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we always looked up to like huge groups, of course, like the Temptations, and looked at Five Heartbeats and all these other dancers that and R&B groups that we really loved because my mom was really into music at that time, and we knew that we wanted to be performers. So
Now,
started performing.
can I ask you what were some of the distractions? Because this show is about fighting through fear, fighting through distractions, and
Yes.
and figuring out who you are, not what the world says you are, but figuring you out for
Right.
yourself. So can you
Right.
inspire somebody that may be coping with distractions?
Yes. We knew that going back at 18 was going to be a little bit different. So a lot of the distractions that we saw, a lot of the kids, um, you know, selling drugs, doing drugs, and we knew that, and even some of like the older OGs that was even in our neighborhood, they were doing the same thing, so we didn't want to dive into that. A lot of them would come up to us and say, hey man, like y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Don't be around this. So
Mm-hmm.
they knew the type of future that we had. And we knew that it was really important for us to stay focused. And a lot of that, we just started going out. We started meeting a lot of dance friends that did the same thing we did.
Mm-hmm.
That's what really kept us creative, and also like going downtown dancing and really enjoying our friends is what really kept us positive, and it also kept us away from that environment as well. So finding people that and it's really important to find people that love what you like to do as well. So kids out there that want to do anything positive, just find great people that love to do what you like as well.
Okay, now let me ask you, how do you feel about naysayers? Because I'm quite sure you experienced quite a few naysayers. As far as it could have been a family member, it could have been a friend saying that your dream was just so unbelievable. What what could you tell someone that may have a naysayer in their midst?
Yes. One thing about naysayers, it's gonna happen. No matter how good you are or of a person you are, we've actually had that actually throughout our whole lives and careers as well, where we didn't grow up in the dance industry world. We were kids just coming off of the street, so we just started learning choreography not too long ago. It hasn't been like that we've been training like for over like years versus other people, and we knew that a lot of the stuff that we wanted to do, we knew that we wasn't on that level. So people that were on that level, we were kind of like shunned upon. They knew that we were talented in freestyle, but they didn't. A lot of people didn't think that we would go far in doing more commercial things. And you're gonna have family and people that are gonna be happy for you, but then you're also gonna find people that's happy for you, but they don't want to see you doing better than them. So I would say for all of the kids out there that may see it or see some type of envy or people that don't really want to see you win. It's kind of watch when the people like make little jokes and say, "Hey, how's your little thing going?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're okay, and people make little jokes. Till this day, people still make little jokes about us not being, I guess, most skillful dancer, but we just kept God first and stayed humble, and we continue to work hard, and God has blessed us and put us in some places we never even imagined. So all of the kids out there, keep working hard, keep training. I wasn't like the guy that that was. We didn't come from the training, thing. We were just kids that were just raw.
Okay.
But I would just really encourage kids to keep training. That's in anything that you do. Even some of the best of the best guys like LeBron, they had to deal with it, and he still deals with it to this day. So keep going, and you just literally have to block it out.
And then I'm gonna say this because I have to tell young people this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why you would listen to someone that has never done a thing.
Exactly.
If they have never done a thing, how can they breathe life into you?
Right. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie. At one point, that really got to us. At one point, it also kind of, it also kind of like broke our confidence down at one point because, we would like you said, you can't really listen to anybody who's never done anything. These are, so all of the people that are, that hasn't really done anything, you can't really listen to that. If anything, I would listen to anybody, to the people who has done it, and take constructive criticism. Is only for the people who's actually doing it, versus the people who's never even done anything. And that might be those are people that might do the same thing that you do, but they haven't done it on a certain level yet. So while those people are criticizing God has a place for you and what He's about to do for your life. So the same people that are laughing and giggling and sniggling, they're not doing anything. They might be talented or more talented than you, but they're not doing anything. So
they're not using their gifts. And the last time I checked, your gifts make room for you. When you utilize your gifts, God, the universe, source, however you want to call it, opens up the doors and brings the people and the opportunities in your path because you are using your gift. I want you to understand what a gift is. It may not be dancing. It could be speaking, it could be singing, it could be cooking, it could be repairing things, whatever your gift is. It makes no sense to be a critic of another person that's using their gift, and you have a gift that you won't even utilize.
Right. Absolutely.
And I think that's when you have to check on, am I envious? Or do I have any jealousy? You have to check on, become aware of who you are. Why am I hating on this person when I should be, lifting them up and supporting them and doing whatever I can do for them, because through them I can learn a lot of things. Because I'm quite sure it's a lot of people in your life that were looking up to you while you and your brother were doing the things that you were doing that you didn't even realize you were tapping into. They were actually looking up to you while you were going through your struggles or going through your trials and your tests. And then you turn around one day and they say, you know what, I've always looked up to you. I've always saw something in you. And to just be that light of hope for someone else. We forget to be hope for other people.
Absolutely. Yes.
We
it's really really important to make sure that we go back and we look at, it's really about the next generation. So Amen. I think a lot of people forget that like it's all about them, but legacy is all about the people that comes after you.
Look, it's all about us. That's what a legacy is. It's about us. It's not, it may look like it's about me, but it's so much larger than just me.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes, you're exactly right. I look at guys like Usher. He took in Justin Bieber, and I look at somebody like a Jermaine Dupri. He took in a Bow Wow, and that's what it's about,
And then
that's what we've been about.
that's the cool thing to me when it comes to the creator. The creator
Mm-hmm.
accepts you in your life, whatever your life was.
Right.
It's okay. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? And you could use your life as a blueprint to ascend. I'm gonna
Right.
say ascend in order to ascend because it's like a lot of music that I may not understand, but that's their life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're
Right.
telling me a story about the things that they've experienced, and they're opening their heart for me to understand the
Mm-hmm.
things that they've gone through. That's like you
Right.
in your dance. Okay, you
Mm-hmm.
getting on the floor and you doing what most people won't do because baby, I saw you. I saw you at halftime, and I don't know if I'd have been able to
Yeah.
be on the floor halftime.
Yeah.
But you understand what I'm saying? I don't know because I've never been in that
Right.
situation to be in the middle of an arena to dance.
Mm-hmm.
And baby, y'all put them smiles on and y'all kept kicking and pushing it and doing your shoulders. I said, okay, now I ain't mad.
Yeah.
And you have got to see, for me, I look for that in other people. Like
Right.
if I was in that position, would I be able to pull out all of that they've just pulled out, all of that life? Because even in your TikTok video, I've been on your TikTok. Hey, I'm nosy. I'm nosy. But even on your in your TikTok videos, I see you guys laughing and smiling and coming up with dances. I've seen you in the church doing praise dances. I've seen you guys doing, and it's like you don't care where you dance. All you know is you want to
Right.
dance.
Right. Yep. Yeah, that's what it's about, man. Putting smiles on people's faces, and I think that's what we as dancers. I think that's what people have kind of like forgot about at one point because now the internet is something that's amazing. You can use it for business. You can use it to literally create something out of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now, we're looking at numbers and who's like, who's the best technical thing, who has the best technique and who's like, the best at. But I think it's really about people about how to make a person feel and putting smiles on people's faces. So that's what we've always been about.
And I think truly that's what life is about. How
Mm-hmm.
are you being of service to humanity? Because when you pull
Right.
out your gift has nothing to do with discrimination. Your gift has
Right.
nothing to do with a person's belief. Your gift has nothing to do with all of those line barriers that we
Right.
tend to carry within ourselves. The gift
Mm-hmm.
is something that is given to anyone open and willing to receive.
Right.
That's how beautiful
Yep.
life is to me. Are you
Mm-hmm.
open and willing to receive this? And those that aren't, guess what? They turn it back on it.
Yep.
That, and it's okay that they're turning back on it. But
Yep.
why?
Right.
And I'm like you, the internet was given to us to kind of play around with it, even if you're not all that tech savvy. You don't have to be all that
Right.
tech savvy. If you begin the process, I promise you the universe will get you the cameras, it'll get you the lights, it will get you all of those things if you just begin.
Absolutely.
If you just fight through the fear and go through the self-doubt and all of that kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
just do it. And do it,
Absolutely.
continue to do it until you get as good as you possibly think you can be. Surround
Mm-hmm.
yourself with people that are doing it, or or surround yourself with people that you admire. Because
Right.
everybody, listen, I love to talk, okay? I love talk shows, I love things like
Mm-hmm.
that. But you know what? I'm gonna hang around dancers. I'm gonna hang around. I even like drag queens. I'm just gonna tell you the truth because their presence is dynamic to me. To transform into a whole nother something. That's amazing to me. So
absolutely,
I hang around people from all walks of life that inspire me and bring out the parts of me that I realize are dormant.
right.
You know, you never know that you like to dance until you go around dancers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I used to kind of dance in the kitchen a little bit when I'm cooking.
Yeah.
But now it's like, shoot, I'm gonna dance, baby. I be everywhere dancing because I didn't realize I like to dance. Now, will I make that a career? I don't necessarily say I will make it a career, but I will say I'm not afraid of dancing anymore in public.
Right.
Because I've looked at people that have inspired me to just be. It's nothing holding you back from just being. If you feel the beat, you feel the music, and you enjoy it, nothing is stopping you.
Right. Absolutely.
From moving. Nothing is stopping you from speaking your truth. Nothing is stopping you from being your true, authentic self. Nothing.
Yep.
Except for you comparing yourself to other people. That will stop you dead in your tracks.
Exactly. Yep.
If you sit up there trying to be like somebody else, oh my God, you'll be waiting because God only made you to be you. God made them to be them. That's like singers. You hear people say nobody else can sing like Whitney or nobody else can sing like Patty. Well, we know that because they have their own voice. They have their own voice. We're not asking you to be like them. We're asking you to be like you. And if you can carry a note and make a run and whatever you may be able to do it.
Yep, exactly.
And everybody may not like it. A lot of people didn't like a lot of musicians. There's a lot of people that don't like certain music. You know? Now, I want to talk about this book. Because it's a curse breaker.
Yes.
Tell me about this self-help book. But before you do, let me show the people the book. It's on Amazon, correct?
Well, it's about to release April 3rd. So we did, yes, April 3rd. Yes, on my birthday, we did have pre-orders, but we stopped it just so that we can kind of like have more of like a build-up. So kind of want more of an anticipation. And only a few people have it, but not everyone. So,
well, let me go on and run this little commercial real quick because I want April the 3rd. I want you to go to Amazon.
Yes.
Go on and hook up with them on Instagram, Facebook, however you need to hook up. Get all of the vital information. Let me show you the clip of their book.
King of the palace, rubber like Malcolm. Ball up fist in the air to the flashlight. Yeah. Hands up in the air that they gun me down. I keep it 100, they crunching it.
Like, wow, like my mom always told me that I would, but she was like, you're gonna always be an author because she always thought that we were creative. We was always writing, with songs. We were in R&B groups. We were kids, but I really wanted to write this book. Of course, being the fact that being in the community, a lot of people know us, but I wanted to write this book to help other people get over their fears, whether it's trying out for an audition and jumping, and and I feel like in life you have to make jumps and leaps, and sometimes you're gonna fall, sometimes you're not gonna and also you're gonna learn a lot of lessons with going after your dreams, and also just in life, just how to navigate in life, and we're all still figuring it out. None of us know all the answers, but
wait
if
a
I
minute,
can help
please.
somebody else.
Hold up, say that one more time. Do the remix.
Yes.
Who knows everything?
Right. And that's the thing, like, if I can help somebody else, everybody's trying to navigate through life and just trying to figure it out, and I don't have it all figured out. None of us do, but if, some of the things that I've been through, as far as like being in the industry and learning about certain things and certain things not really going your way, but at the time you don't really understand, but it all works out at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And you may not see it right then and there, but 5 years later, you'll start to understand, like, oh, this is the reason why this happened, so that this could happen, so this blessing could set up. And also, like, want to tell kids, like, especially like our kids that didn't come from, they kind of came from the same place I came from.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't come from like top tier, School of the Arts, and they literally came from like the mud. I want to tell y'all that, like, y'all can do the same thing I could do. Our goal is to go back and like I said, our goal is to go back and reach out to somebody else. So in the past, we've had a few dancers up under our company, and we want to be able to do more. And this is really about just learning about life and learning like about self-control as well. Being when we were kids, we would get picked on in school when we were kids because I knew that we wasn't the most, we wasn't great at academics, and sometimes that would upset me, and that would cause into physical fights because we were being picked on, and people making jokes and saying you're not really good at math, but we were really good in the creative arts. We could create something out of nothing. So it also teaches about self-control and learn how to control your emotions. And I had to learn a lot of lessons from that, controlling my emotions as well.
Me.
Yeah,
me.
So,
because if you allow your emotions to control you, you end up in some of the sternest positions in life.
Absolutely.
And then you look back and you look back at them and you say, well, you know what? I really don't even have to be here. If I would have said this, or if I would have walked away, or if I would have, you know what I'm saying? And you find all those things you could have done, but you didn't. But then you realize that you didn't. And even in that place, you say thank you because it taught you something.
Yep.
Thank you for this trial because it's teaching me I don't want to do this no more.
Right.
I'm never going to do this again.
Right. Yes. And, and that's in, not only just, with just being in the art world, but also being in jobs too. A lot of like the regular 9-to-5 jobs we've had, I've felt like, I could have walked away with certain things, and instead of, letting things get to me, even if people did wrong me, even if they wronged me, it was still better for me to just walk away instead of striking. So that I want to teach the next people coming up after me, like, all right, even if that person did wrong you or somebody did kind of like say something crazy, when you get home and you sleep it off, you feel a lot better in the morning versus having to, you got to go to court, because,
and attitudes.
So, yeah.
And how about this? You said something that you really didn't mean.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Do you know how many times I allowed anger to take over possess my whole being, and I've been lashed out like I was, and then you look back and you say, these are things that you cannot take back. You can apologize all day.
Yep.
At the same time, how is that person receiving your apology? And what did you do to their mental state at the moment you said what you said?
Right. And you're right, because and then too, a lot of people will, I've learned too. A lot of people will do little things, and um, a lot of people will try to like poke at you just to really get a reaction out of you.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna say, oh, they're gonna say, oh, like all right, like, oh, okay, like he do get upset, of let me poke at him some more so we can kind of get him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, and people do that. People still do it at jobs, regular jobs. So
In your family.
Yep.
You ain't even got to go outside the house. You can just be at home, and if somebody won't pick your bones, and then you got to say, okay, I choose to be higher. I choose to be greater. I choose to be love in this situation. I just choose to be love because I see you're coming from a place that's unlovable, but I choose to be love.
Yep. You're right. A lot of people do that just to see, all right, let me see how much I can, tick that person off. But I've also learned, you have to also learn how to become unbothered, by a lot of things. You just have to stay unbothered and also learn how to choose joy, so
you better say it. Joy. And how about this? This is the best thing to choose. I choose peace. And because I choose peace, I will not give you no authority to take it away from me.
Absolutely. Yes. And it's really important to choose joy and staying unbothered. It's gonna, it's gonna feel like, of course you're gonna be nonchalant about certain things, but it's really teaching like next people like, all right, and it's still teaching me today about how to control yourself. That's why I also think that mentorship, there's another chapter in the book where it talks about young men and women about having mentorship. We were very blessed to have mentors, and I still have a mentor in my life, and I feel like mentorship has no age.
Oh no!
So you need people to guide you.
And how about this?
A village, you got to guide the right people.
Let's say this. Let's say that you're in a home, and the people, because see, like how I grew up, my mother had a second grade education.
Right.
Okay. How, and she could tell me things from her perspective. Plus, she was an older lady. I was adopted. So, plus, she was an older lady. And so she could only come from a space that she had known, right? Plus, you got a second grade education. So I don't know how far you're gonna be able to take me, and that's being real. Life gives you experience for you to gain wisdom. And I'm not saying she didn't give me wisdom. My mother gave me plenty of wisdom because she was old enough and she had those experiences. But as far as intellectual growth, social growth, just social experience, she could not give me what she had never had.
Right. Yeah, and you're exactly right. Sometimes some people can't give you that social growth that you might need, and sometimes you have family members. That doesn't mean that they don't love you or the things that they taught you wasn't right, but sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zone and and be in a different environment in order to learn how to socialize with different people. So sometimes I believe when you jump out of your comfort zone and you're surrounded by a lot of different people, it's almost gonna force you to learn how to socialize and how to connect with people in a different way. Even when people come from different backgrounds, you can still collaborate and network and create. So that's how I feel. There's certain family members who I love.
They just don't have nothing to pour into you.
Connect with them.
Look, they don't have nothing to pour into you. We all have that I'm just gonna say Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe that has always done what somebody else told him to do, and he's always followed this protocol. He's not necessarily a free spirit. You understand what I'm saying? He's not necessarily
Right.
he's never stepped outside of his box. And Auntie Jane,
Right.
she's never stepped outside of
Right.
her box. So we all have that.
Yeah.
Everybody has that. And
Yeah.
if you are blessed with one person that inspires you
Right.
to just go with the flow of what's in your heart, that's a
Right.
freaking blessing.
Right. And it really is, in the book, I try to tell a lot of the young kids, or just young people in general, just to go out and find a mentor, whether they're in a program, whether it's school or anywhere, or if you're networking, and make sure that you find someone that likes the same things that you do. Because you're right, you may love Uncle Joe, you may love, Aunt Patty, but they can't really tell you how to go after your dreams when they've never really done anything. So, and that's not on like any disrespect level, but that's just like
that's you accepting. This is what I'm surrounded by.
Right.
I'm surrounded by critics and judgmental people that look at everybody else and say, well, they need to do this and they need to do that, this, and other, but they've never done a thing. Nothing is wrong with that, but you've got to understand I'm the type of person, I analyze where the conversation is coming from.
Exactly.
And I also understand this, and this is true life. Just figure this part out. People that are successful, they find ways to open you up to success.
Come on, right.
They don't just shut you down. They open you up in ways for you to receive it.
Right, exactly. That's what successful people do. You're right, and I'm so grateful to have great people around me, and I want to make sure that the people that's after me, they can follow some of the things that even if they never, follow everything that's in the book, because that might be only a portion. It might be a portion what they may take out of the book, and it might carry them for life. To really just be around people that's gonna open you up versus people that's gonna, that person ain't doing that, and he did. You know what I'm saying? Like you have family members that's also gonna be like a little upset about like how far you've come. Some people are surprised at how they didn't know that what the plans that God had for you, but that was only between God only knew that.
That's right. It was that was that personal what they call that conference call. It was just me and God. Well, you wasn't there.
Right.
It was just me and God. And God poured this into me, before the foundations of the earth. Before I was created, God had already put this thing in me. And so it's not like I had to force it to fit. It's more like I had to fit my mind around who I was truly created to be.
Right. Exactly.
I had to believe what God poured into me. I had to believe that I was the cup that was overflowing. I had to believe that I had more than just as you. You have more than just dance in you. You have a book in you, and I'm quite sure you're gonna have more than one book in you. Just what I'm saying. So your cup is overflowing. You're so full of gifts until you keep producing more for other people.
Right. Absolutely. And at first, the crazy thing about it, at first, I was a little hesitant to put this book out at first, because I was just like, I'm 31 years old. I don't want nobody to be like, how could you give somebody advice and you're not at the cream of the crop? And I just thought about all this stuff, and I'm like, you know what?
Because we doubt ourselves.
You know what I'm saying?
Look, we doubt ourselves. Even when it took me 6 months to publish my book, 46 pages, 6 months it took me, because I was doubting not understanding that the words didn't even come from me.
Right.
And you, I want you to really testify to this. When you're writing a book, it's parts of the book that just come through, like you just can't stop. It's like, okay, and then,
Right.
you know, and you haven't even thought about it. You haven't even wrote a blueprint about it or nothing. It just flow through you. But I didn't
Yep.
even realize that the book didn't come from me, but I was carrying all of this self-doubt. Like, who gonna read the book? Why they gonna want to read the book? You know, am I smart enough to be writing this book? Should I do it
Exactly.
like this or should I do it like that? Should I care about the
Right.
typos and, you know, just taking myself through all kind of unnecessary stuff. And one
Right.
day God said to me, "Why fear? I'm with you."
Mm. Wow. Come on now. Yeah. You're right.
So when the Spirit said that to me, I made a vow to myself. I said, before I turn, I think I was turning 40. I said, I'm gonna be a published author.
Mm.
And I want to say 3 or 4 days before my birthday, I pressed the button. The day my book went live was my
Mm.
birthday.
Wow. It's something, man.
But
It's
I
God.
promise I made a vow to myself. I said, I'm going to take the criticism. I'm going to take, you know, everything that I was putting in myself. I was saying, you know what? I can take it. I can take it. I can take it. I can take it.
Right. Right.
Because this book did not come all from me.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I've
It's
got
just
to
something
trust
God
it.
put in you. Like it's just like He put it in you to say like you're gonna be an author. You here to help somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and yeah, like you're right. You know, I felt the same way you felt at first. Last year, you know, I kind of like put it off a little bit because I was worried about criticism or why they need to be writing a book and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just do it. You know what I'm saying? Like even if a chapter helps somebody, and like you said, it didn't come from us, and God put it was to come to give to somebody else.
And it just flowed through. And once I sat down and I began to realize, like, you know, parts of the book, even after I reread it, you know, after it's published and you sit down and you read your book, it's like I'm teaching myself some stuff. Like, well, darn, I didn't even know I put that in there.
Right, exactly. You didn't even realize it.
Where did that come from? That I read it, but then it looks like every time you read it, you find something different.
Right, exactly.
That you were totally unaware of.
Right. Wow.
So you just, I tell people when it comes to writing a book, do not fear. The book is not coming from you in the first place. The imagination of the book came from the creator, which gives us imagination to do all things. So if he put it in you to do the thing, do it without fear, knowing that it is not you that is doing it, it's the Christ in you that is producing it. You are producing what God has put in you, just overflow in it.
Right.
Be the river that never dries out. So when you empty yourself, guess what? He fills you back up. He gives you something else to produce. But how can you produce something and you already full? You won't even let that out.
Right.
He said, I got a word and it can only come through you. So I'm going to put this word in you and this is what I want you to do and this is how I want you to do it. Produce it.
Yep.
So then you become the producer. You release it so that you become an open vessel again so he can fill your cup back up so you can produce something else. What is the next thing that you are going to help humanity with? Because we have the look, I'm talking to you now, St. Warren. We have the dancing. We have the self-help book. What's our next move?
Oh man, my next move is definitely going behind and curating some shows. You know, curating festivals. You know, I have so many creative ideas. I've always wanted, also me too, an R&B group. Me and my brother, we came from an R&B group years ago. it was 5 of us, and we're looking for some talented guys. I'm looking to put together maybe a 4 or 5 boy band group, member group. Just developing them. I remember when we were being developed vocally, and having like a manager, and that artist development really helped us. And
did you see my show last night? Did you
yes.
see? You did. Did you see?
Yes.
You saw Marlon.
Yes.
That's what Marlon does.
Oh wow! Yep.
That's what he does, and he sung with A-Town and a bunch of artists. Yep. And he was talking about when he was being signed, how his sound was so authentic that they did not know what genre to put him in. I myself look at genres as a form of separation because music is music to me.
Exactly.
I don't give a darn if it's a country person singing it or a hip hop person singing it. Music is music.
Right.
And it's universal. So, we had a whole discussion about that. Like, I just don't get, like, a book is a book to me. So why do we have to separate a book? Or a movie is a movie, but everything is just so separated. And so it just keeps us even more separated. Well, this black person produced this movie, so this is a black movie. Well, why is that so?
Yeah.
It's just a movie. Why does it have to be separated like that? But then I guess I'm a little bit more open, and a lot of people may say, well, she always including everybody. But then I think that's how God looks at all of us. We all breathe the same oxygen, so I don't know why I have to be separated from, separated from the love of God, because nobody else is separated from the love of God. And if I can appreciate the producers that produce, allow me to appreciate the producers that produce to heal a nation.
Exactly.
They're healing people through music, healing people through poems, healing people through paintings, healing people through dance, healing people through all of these things are healing to each individually, separately.
Absolutely. Yep. And I just love the fact that I'm really inspired by a guy by the name of Michael Bivins from New Edition. I'm really inspired, like how he took how the group kind of like was successful, but then they were a very successful group, but on the business side there were a lot of twists and turns. So we're also going to talk about the business and how to like not being able to take advantage of. So having the right representation,
well, let me ask you this. If another person had never had that experience, how would anyone else know? See, you've got to understand the trailblazers that came before you to experience things so that you won't have to experience them.
Right. And that's the reason why I love trying to grab another talented dancer or artist or a group so that they won't go through the same things I did. So like being in the business, and whether you're not getting your publishing or whether it could be anything. So so that they won't have to go through that. So that they can have an easier route, and we can actually show them ownership and also know what's going in, what's going out, and having the right people in your corner. So
now let me ask you this, because we've talked about this on a couple of my shows. A lot of us are becoming entrepreneurs, right?
Yep.
And at the same time, we're not financially intelligent at all.
Right. Yep.
I'm the type of person, when it comes to money, I'm gonna talk to people that know about money. When
Exactly.
it comes to doing certain things, I'm going to surround myself with those type of people that can help me cultivate that part of me that my social environment could not cultivate.
Right.
I'm not going to
Um,
ask anybody a question about investing or IRAs or money markets, and they can hardly get a bank account.
right. Right. Um, you're right. You know, it's really important. As entrepreneurs, whether you have whether you do your entrepreneur thing and you do a 9 to 5, or you're just out there on your own, you're an entrepreneur. It's really important to be around people who know and who's actually done it, and who's also still doing it. A lot of us are not, we don't have the financial intelligence. We didn't either. As kids and growing up and navigating through the industry, we didn't know. We didn't know about certain things, and yeah, you can't. You have to also make sure that you're talking to the right people. Um, Again, like you said, getting mentors, but also having a mentor that actually knows what he's doing as well. So a lot of us are just out here trying to find their way.
Look
So
like this in the
you
dog.
can be an entrepreneur, but be broke as a joke. You know what I'm saying? So you can't, again, like you can't ask Uncle Joe and be like, "Hey man, what you think about this?" And he giving you advice, and he's never been successful at anything.
And I'm gonna say
So
this: you cannot be ashamed to ask for help. Like
yep,
it's nothing wrong with you going into that bank and asking for a personal banker, or telling
exactly,
someone that you want to set up an account to do this, this, that, and the other, and allowing them to help you create a budget.
exactly. Yeah, you're right. You
It's
can't be
only your
ashamed.
pride doing that. Your pride will keep you
Yep,
from a lot of things.
right. You're right. You can't be ashamed. And that's the great thing about this book, Breaking Cycles. I talk about a lot of the things that you know us once sometimes as kids we're hard headed. We may think we know everything, and your mentor is telling you to do this, like stick with me, like, but you're like, all right, I'm gonna do it on my own, and you end up getting taken advantage of, and the money's not right, or they're not giving you your publishing or certain things as an artist or anything, and a lot of it. And so I want also like a lot of the young generation to know, like, don't laugh and giggle and sniggle at any other idiot and anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because you haven't gone through it, because there's gonna be a time where you may not know everything what's going on in that contract. You might can read a contract, but that doesn't mean you understand what it means, terminology.
And that's what I was going to say, because you can read a contract, that does not mean that you understand law. Contracts are written in law language. And if you don't understand the law, you're reading and not even understanding what you read.
Exactly. You're so right, and I want the younger generation to understand, like, just because they haven't been through it, don't laugh and giggle at anybody else, or say, oh, that'll never happen to me, or I don't know this, and you might be getting a lot, you might be getting a lot of money, but that doesn't mean you're getting all of what you're supposed to be getting, because you didn't understand this, or you had an in-house lawyer, you know what I'm saying, that's already working for a company, and you just said, you told the label, or you told the company, like, hey, or they'll say, hey, don't worry about it, we'll get you a lawyer, and they already got a lawyer that's working for them. They just taking money from you.
And then I will say this: you still have the authority. You still have the authority by the person signing the contract that you could read a contract and draw a line through some of the stuff that you don't agree with and put in what you do agree with. But
Right.
until you
Yep.
understand contractual law,
Right.
so
Exactly.
don't never say what you
You're
won't do.
exactly. Exactly.
Because if you
Like,
don't know to do it,
and,
you'll never do it.
right.
You got to be
Exactly.
aware of what you can do before you do it.
Right. Right. You know, and yeah, that's what I want to tell the younger generation to look at all these other groups and don't laugh at them. And you know, you look at the new additions, you look at the TLCs, you look at the B2Ks and what happened to
Mm-hmm.
just a lot of people, even the local people and Omarion and those guys. Look at that and don't don't feel like, oh, that's never gonna happen to me. And you may be getting, you may be feeling like you're getting a lot of it, but it's gonna be a lot of money that's being taken away from you that you really don't know what's going on.
And I was, how about this? How about this?
Mhm.
Prepare to be wealthy. You know, be
Exactly,
wealthy on
yep.
purpose. So prepare
Yep.
yourself mentally to be wealthy
Right.
by educating yourself with the bankers, the people, so they'd be familiar with you when you walk into the bank, baby. They already know who you is and what you're talking
Right.
about. Be familiar with those people. Be familiar. Let's say you got a lump sum of money. This
Yep.
is just, I want you to use your imagination. You got this great old big lump sum of money. Who would you take that money to right now? Would you just go sit it in a bank account? That's what your mind telling you. Just go put it in a bank account.
Oh,
Or do you have a CPA or somebody that you could say, this is what I want this money to do? This is how I want this money to work for me. Prepare yourself to be wealthy by creating a wealthy mindset.
Yep. Exactly.
If I had a lump sum of money right now, $100,000
Yep.
right now, I know exactly who I'm gonna pick up the phone and call. Baby, it's on and
Exactly.
popping. You got
Yep.
the blueprint ready?
Yep. Exactly.
I already know who I'm
Yep.
gonna call.
Know the call, yeah.
I'm not even looking for nobody. I have the
Exactly.
name I'm calling right here, right now.
Yep.
Because I'm
Exactly.
not gonna misuse that blessing.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna think I know
Exactly
something
right.
that I don't know.
Right.
I'm gonna give it to somebody that does know, so that it
Yep.
can prosper and grow and multiply for me. Compared to
Exactly.
me just putting it in a bank account and I just keep making deposits. I mean, no, keep making withdrawals,
Yeah.
and the money is not
Yep.
cultivating anything coming back in. The money don't even have no
Exactly.
spirit to it because I'm just
Exactly.
sending it out, sending it out, sending it out.
Yep.
No, I'm gonna have more intelligence than that when it comes to it.
Yep. Exactly. You're exactly right. You know, and like you said, prepare yourself. You know, because you, like you said, you should already have somebody that you could just make that call to already know to grow your money.
Baby, it happened.
Learn how to grow your money.
Look, San
Yep.
Juan,
Instead of
it
like,
happened. It happened. Oh my God, it happened.
yep.
Baby, it happened. And I don't know how it's gonna happen for you. It could come through a gig, you know, an investor, somebody investing in you. You don't know how this money is gonna come into your reality.
Right.
But at the same time, when it comes, you know, you hold it's a responsibility with the money that is coming.
Right.
And
Yep.
I would hope the main
Exactly.
responsibility is for you not to be in the condition or the situation that you are in ever a freaking again.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
Like this is the
You're
opportunity
exactly right.
to turn this thing around. I'm finna turn it around. It's gonna be upside down. I'm gonna be like Cardi B, up and stuck. But thinking like that, you know, and getting young people to think like that, and even getting younger kids to like
Yep.
start little businesses and sell waters and juices and understand that 60-40. Put 60% into your business. You know, 40% is for your marketing. Plus, you know,
Right.
and you may not be able to pay yourself the first year or two. You know what I'm saying? Because you're really
Yep.
investing in yourself. You're investing into your dream. So you get over that
Right.
that little mark right there. Okay, well, some kind of way I'm gonna have to live off the interest
Right. Yep.
because I
Exactly.
know whatever I'm earning this month, 60% is going back into my freaking business.
Exactly. Yep. You're right. And just preparing yourself and actually making sure that you know the business and learn about it and get some mentors, and get a mentor that actually knows what he's talking about as well. So that, like I said, having the right representation,
And that's
knowing
on every tier now. That's on every tier. If you're
Yep.
going to be a speaker, go to Toastmasters. You want some
Yep.
financial intelligence, go to the bank and then get you a CPA. You want, go out and get the people that are going to prosper you spiritually.
Right, exactly. Yep.
Because lack of knowledge is where that's the Bible tells us that because of lack of knowledge
Right.
is where we fail. So go
Right.
out and find those people that are going to help you prosper in your spirit so that you have
Right.
spiritual growth. And when you have spiritual growth, guess what? Your whole reality changes.
Right. Absolutely.
Because now
Yep.
you're walking in what they call, you're in a different territory. You're speaking languages you've never spoken before. You're talking to people that you've never had these kind of conversations. You've had, little simple conversations.
Right.
But now you're talking money language, and now you're talking, what is it? Give me something. Verbal. Now you're getting your verbiage up, and you're going into other lands
Exactly.
that you're destined to be in, and you're spiritually growing.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
And being kind to yourself every step of the way. Every freaking step of the way. Because
Absolutely.
you have to do it in your time. I could tell you all day long to do something, but it's gonna take an experience for you to understand. Darn, I should listen to her. She said that, she said that, or Sam Warren said that day. I was looking at that video. They said that day. I don't know why I didn't do what they said do.
Right.
But then that experience is gonna give you some wisdom.
Right.
And you're gonna be looking for that thing to happen again.
Right, exactly.
So that you can spiritually grow. But then even in that setback, guess what? You spiritually grew.
Yep. Exactly.
You had to grow some kind of way. God had to reveal it unto you some kind of way.
Yep.
You wasn't listening to what was said. So let me show you something.
Exactly. You're right.
So I guess you're gonna grow now, huh?
Yeah, for real. Yeah. For real. Yeah.
I guess you're gonna grow now. You ain't got no other choice now.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. And I'm just thankful for you, and I'm thankful for you allowing me to even speak on your platform. And I'm very grateful. Very, very grateful.
I am grateful to you for being your age and being so freaking enlightened on many levels. Okay? Enlightened, giving on many levels, and you're a very unique young guy because even when things were going to the left, you stood in a place of, oh my God, I forgot. Oh my God, you know what I'm saying? And you were like, it was more important to you to make sure your word was what was done. Your integrity for your age is out of this world. And I appreciate you so much. I appreciate the many times we have talked on the phone. I appreciate the minute. Look, the minute, baby, we done played on this thing. If y'all only knew the back, the back end of this show right here, y'all would know something.
Right. Yeah.
But just his integrity throughout it all, I really appreciate you.
Thank you, and I appreciate you as well. super grateful. And, you know, things always come back in full circle. So, and I'm very thankful.
I am too. And we have to be thankful for it all. All of it. All of it made us. All of us made our story.
Absolutely.
And made this happen. So let me go and play this closing. I'm gonna close. Y'all, I'm going to close out. So I'm gonna run my credits. And you know I love you. San Juan, gonna tell the people later. Say later.
Hey, see you later.
Look, this is different. Y'all, this is different. But guess what? It worked out.